Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Paint Desk Rumblings. Tonight, I have a guest for the first time. I'm joined by the wonderful Lucky Sixes from Proxy Table Gaming. How are you doing, sir?
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So, on tonight's episode, we will look into the growth of the Ninth Age community. And how that is done from the project side and from the community side, and we'll also take some questions at the end that Lucky Sixes has asked out on Twitter. So we will look at those.
Yeah, my massive following of 68 people.
Yeah, still got some questions. That's good.
That's it, mate.
So before we go any further, though, we have the hobby spotlight. So what's on your desk tonight, Tom?
So I have got some Barrow Knights that I've had for ages and ages and ages, and I'm doing up for the Avras campaign that I'm involved in.
All right. So is it the Games Workshop models, the Black Knights?
Yeah. So I've most of my models actually came because I was very heavily into 8th. So most of my models come from that, but try and add a little spin on it with my painting. But I try anyway.
Oh, those are really nice models. I have some of my own, though I cheated a bit and used some old horses to make the knights, and then took the newer horses and working on some spectral hunters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm assembling them at the moment. No, not at the desk tonight, but they are on another desk, basically.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Lots of desks.
Yeah. So nice to see. For myself, I'm working on a Marshal for my Empire Sunshine army. We'll probably enter it into the Battle of Avras as well. The model is from Avatars of War. Their Imperial Marshal with a great weapon.
Okay.
I got it some time ago. They had a discount for Empire Sunshine models, and I thought female models as well. So I got him and their Suna model and one of their barbarian females.
Oh, okay. I think I've got a vampire one from them, and the only reason I say I think is because I won it in a tournament. It was like a bit of a fun tournament, and they did for the first. Quite ironically, being Lucky Sixes, it was the first 6-6 charge. And,
nice.
Obviously, I got that. So I think it was from Avatars War.
Yeah, I have a vampire from them as well. They make some really nice miniatures.
Yeah.
So that's cool. This one has got a lot of armor.
Okay.
Share screen even so that the viewers can see. This is the let's see. You can see my screen now.
All right. Yeah.
So this is the miniature. So I base coated his armor, and it's a lot of steel, so that's gonna take a while to paint.
Yeah.
But I should also wanted to mention that I finished the shields from last time and finished up my little warband of vermin. So these are them.
They look really cool.
Thanks. They've had one game under their belt.
Yeah?
They did decent, cool. But not great. So
that sums up Vermin Swarm, really.
Yeah, I suppose. So I think that does it for the hobby spotlight. We will move swiftly on to the news. So we don't have a lot of news in terms of miniatures. At least I haven't noticed anything particular this last week.
There was a Mierce. Well, I say this. There was a Mierce 2-for-1 deal, but I feel like there always is. So
I completely missed that.
Yeah, well, they have like monsters. They have like massive monsters. They're quite expensive, but they're like incredibly detailed. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. I always get emails from them.
Okay, yeah.
But I feel like it's more than once a month they have like 2-for-1s because they are quite expensive, but they are gorgeous models. It's one of those where you're like, should I just get some amazing monsters? But yeah,
I think it's them that I've been looking at a bit for my my vermin swarm. I think they have a vermin demon model.
Oh, okay,
that's really sweet, and some maybe I think they have something suitable for an abomination too.
Yeah.
So I've been eyeing them a bit.
Yeah, I'm a Warriors player, so literally every single
yeah
would be like
I
in
can
my
imagine
army. So I'm like,
yeah. So good to know that they have those offers every now and then.
yeah, well, yeah, they're quite regular.
Yep. All right. I know that there was some sales on Tabletop Miniature Solutions. Maybe they had free shipping worldwide. But I think by the time this is aired, that offer will be over. So yeah. But to make up for it, we have a lot of other news. First up is the release of another auxiliary army from the project.
Yeah.
The Cultists. Yes.
Yeah.
So we've both looked into them a little bit. Let's see here. So they released a teaser for it and a little arm.
I quite like all the teasers that Night Phage do. They're quite basic, but it does give a bit of like hype to things.
I agree. Just shaking up a bottle here.
Yes.
But I agree. They make some pretty nice teasers. It adds to the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But the book as well, I think, is really nice.
Yeah. Like the summon stuff. Oh.
Yeah. So basically, what it is an army of cultists and some really weak troops. But they can pretty much all of them can summon stuff and summon demons to the table.
Yeah. I was speaking to Hodgie, my fellow partner, about it, and he said it's basically, I'll quote him because I thought it was quite funny. It's basically a way of taking a bunch of human psychos on the battlefield who summon demons without much care. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. The way I understand it, they also have this rule, Pledge to Darkness.
Yeah.
Which allows them you to play them as not only humans, but you can use all kinds of models for the main army.
Yeah, so whatever army you have can be a demon army.
Yeah, if you have a demon army or you have another army, you can just buy a little bit more and play this army. So you got the wayward children, who are basically elves, I suppose.
Yeah.
And March rate and advanced rate. I think maybe beast herds as well.
Yeah, and was there a Saurians one as well? I thought there's sloth. Oh no, it's just
the fallen heroes. Perhaps.
Yeah, and there's even throughout like there's loads of like mentions of different armies, which I think is quite cool.
And the Dishonored here, I think, are March rate set to 9. They are dwarves. And Kingslayer. Not sure what those are.
25 offensive, warriors-ish.
Maybe.
But, yeah.
Maybe those are the beast herds, but no, they should have more speed. Yeah. Whatever. It's a nice concept that you can really just combine armies as you like to create a whole new army. So I'm 2 thumbs up for me.
Yeah. Well, I've been impressed by all of them. I quite like how different they all are as well. Considering it's just warriors and demons who are fairly similar in all the armies out. Like you got Ascalanders who are like the Vikings, and the Markakans who are all the horses and cavalry. Yeah. And then this one's just completely different as well. So I think I don't know them well. If they carry on in that vein, they'll be flying.
yeah, we're really interested to see what they can pull up with more armies in the future.
How have you, just on while we're talking about that, have you had many like tournaments and stuff that you go to where they've been allowed?
I'm actually hosting a tournament in October where they will be allowed.
Oh, right. Well, cool.
So, it's been pretty well received. I think about 3 or 4 players have said that they want to play with them.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, like, we've got at our club, we've got a big Asklanders club, a guy called Mark Borland, who he's been to a few tournaments now, and he sort of, it's really sparked up a lot of like interest in the Auxiliary from like some of the top players as well, which is really interesting.
I think maybe that some of the armies are not that balanced. So
well, that's probably
when
why,
the top players get get a hold of them, things can go pretty crazy. I think.
But I think it's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, we have seen a little bit use of both the Makar and the Ostlanders.
Yeah.
So at our tournaments, and it's cool to see.
Bonus points to those chaps, I reckon.
Yeah, one of them is kind of a top player. He used to play at ETC.
Okay.
He's a maniac at finding out crazy combinations and such. I think he used.
I bet Barker Khan has some really, because there's a lot of like flea and.
Yeah. He used them at a tournament not long ago. I wasn't there, unfortunately, so I don't really know the details. But it sounded insane. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So I think that does it for the cultists, unless you have anything more you want to add.
No, just
I think this book could deserve a more thorough run through, but that would be a show in itself.
But it has been released, so check it out, everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I'll include a link in the show notes below, as usual.
Yeah.
So we will move on to the next news item, the patch update. So this is a message from the project where they are telling us the status of this next update that they will do to the balance patch.
Yeah.
Basically, that is coming. And they're saying that it will arrive in December.
Just before Christmas.
Yeah, they kind of like doing that, it seems. Doing things for Christmas. Which is nice. Was it last year that they did the Demon Legions?
Yeah, and 2 Point Gold was out. Was it, or 2?
Yeah, it was at
virtually Christmas. Yeah, because they did was it the 30 days of?
Yeah, some countdown.
Yeah.
and there was an update for the Asklanders during that time.
Oh yeah.
The Makar were released.
The Christmas, not days special.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff.
That
was nice. So it's been a year now that we've had almost a year that we have had 2.0.
Yeah, and taking out warriors and demons, everyone's pretty much been same points, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be quite a nice shake-up actually.
Yeah, indeed.
I quite like annual over like biannual, because even biannual for some, we started out very very much like casual gamers, so like to go to even biannually is actually quite quickly. So if you're not one of them players that goes out to tournaments every week sort of thing and gets a little bit bored of your lists, you actually, a year is a good amount of time to get to know your armies and things. Because I'd try and play 4 armies in a year, so I never really get bored with lists and plans and stuff.
And really, in the Ninth Age, you can test out so many different armies and have a decent chance. So I never get bored. I never take the same army to a tournament twice.
No, that's it.
Same army list.
So I think I prefer, personal opinion, I prefer the annually rather than things as well.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think that they talk a little bit in this message about the data that they've got, where it's from and how they use it, and then I think the most interesting thing is the tier list.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I play high elf, so I'm well happy.
yeah, so they compiled 4 tiers of armies, how they view which one are the best, and so hybrid elves, they are at the bottom there.
Yeah,
Which to me, I find that surprising.
I'm with you, mate.
uh,
I play them. I find I think they've got some amazing units and combinations, but
yeah,
yeah.
I think for me, it's yes, personally, my armies are just terrible at handling them. It seems.
Yeah.
I never have good answers for all the shooting,
Don't you
and
play Skaven?
I
Sorry,
don't.
Vermin Swarms.
I don't actually play them yet. I only have
Right.
small warband.
Oh, so is
So
that why you're losing to the high elves?
orcs
Yeah.
Vampire Covenant are my main armies that I take
Right.
to tournaments. So, and I never have good answers for the sword masters and such.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, the range stuff.
Yeah, don't have enough small shooting in my armies.
Mm.
And I think it's just partly it's just post-traumatic stress of their glory days. They
Yeah,
have
sure.
had some filth through the years.
They have that. What was that? That banner, Banner of the World Dragon.
Oh
Oh,
yes,
it's so bad.
horrible times. Had my own.
Yeah.
No, but the tier list. So that was a bit surprising to me. Also,
I was a little bit surprised they released it. I know they sort of like doing that occasionally, but
yeah, I can agree. But I think it's good. It sparked some interesting conversation on the forums.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was also a bit surprised by the words of the Dark Gods. I didn't think they would be that high up.
Oh, okay.
But I suppose
I
that
think that the what is it called?
the Hellmaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just in it, and someone that understands it can just take turns some battles. I've never used it personally, but
No.
I think I've been against it twice.
Really has the potential.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's it. I think the rest of the army is not that dangerous, really.
No, chosen.
But yeah, sure, they can dish out a lot of damage, but it's so few bodies. I
Yeah,
tried making
yeah.
a few lists with them. I'm really curious about starting an army with them, but I am already working on 2 new armies, and I've got a third one coming from Kickstarter soon, hopefully.
Right.
So
Cool.
I shouldn't be starting any more armies, really.
Yeah.
Making lists for them. It always feels that it like 1 unit short when you make lists with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I took them to a tournament in April, and I must have had, I think it was 5 units, and I was like, and it's like always getting out deployed by people. And I was like, oh, I mean, I've got bricks, but I'd like another unit, something else to play with.
Yeah, simple army to play though when you only have 5 units. Game
Very much so. Just move, and then your turn.
Yeah. So anything else in the tier list that you find of note?
Well, I say there's a lot. I think there's a lot of chat about UD just not only being top tier, but perhaps a tier even above that. But I think it's just the regrowing. Personally, I don't mind the chariots and stuff being in core. There's a lot of stuff about them. I think they're quite cool. They're not like there's only res 4 sort of thing, so they're not that bad. But I think it's just the regrowing thing. So you do like everything can regrow. Like Cataphracts can regrow like 6 wounds every magic phase. You're like, oh man, that's tough. So I think once they get that sorted, I think they'll be fine personally.
I wonder how they will go about that, really. If they will do some rules changes even for...
Yeah, because they said they shouldn't really, but I don't know. I suppose you could just price out the hourglass or whatever it is.
But most things can be sold by pricing, but maybe the army will... other types of armies maybe take a hit from that.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But I think they've said that they might do some rule changes.
Okay. Just some like obvious ones.
Yeah, not entirely sure, but...
Well, I'm quite happy with what they're doing. They do a lot of good work, I think, and a lot of work as well.
Yeah,
I was talking to someone on one of the WhatsApp groups, and he was like, "Yeah, we've just come off a 12-hour conference call, doing all the point." And you're like, "Man, that's tough."
Yeah.
But fair play for doing that, but like that's tough.
Yeah. I was in the team, like, still am in the rules clarity, but I don't commit much time to it anymore.
Okay.
When I was in the Vampire Covenant team, we had some really long conference calls as well.
Yeah.
To try and sort things out.
Fair play to you.
Yeah. So I think.
Oh yeah, quite happy with all of them really. I'd say I don't think high elves are that bad, but they're not tier on their own bad.
I think they mentioned that even though there are tiers, it's still pretty good balance.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything.
I've had my Sea Guard from the start, from like 2017. So I'm every points thing they've gone down by a point. So I'm hoping I'm like, at some point, Sea Guard are going to be the best unit in the game, and I'm going to be playing from the start. So I'm happy.
You've been preparing for that day since forever. I have some similar units that I always take, even though they're not that good, or at least according to the general knowledge. And every time they just reduced in points, I just get happy.
You get to a point where you play a list, you're like, I think this is a good list. I've played it 8 or 9 times. Actually, I'm really getting and then it comes to the points update, and every unit goes down. You're like, what? So all of it's bad?
Am I really that bad at making choices in my army? Yeah. I had that with my Nasher herd. I used that always, and then now all of a sudden they've gone down so much in point that everyone thinks they are awesome.
Wasn't there an ETC list with Nashers of like 40 of them or something?
Yeah.
120 or something. It's ridiculous.
Probably. I don't think it did that well though.
Oh right, okay.
But I've heard that it was one.
Yeah. So you were the trendsetter for Nasher herds.
Maybe. I think though one of the things that has influenced this sudden influx in Nasher herds is not only the price, but also that Games Workshop released their new Squeak models. So suddenly got access to more models to use suddenly.
Yeah, and lots of different size ones. So you have lots of like 4 base sorts of things.
Pillars, yeah. So really, it must be a nightmare to try and balance things and judge the metas and all of that when such things as model releases are influencing it.
Yeah, I know, man.
So that's crazy. But I think that does it for the patch update. I feel we've given it a shake. Mm-hmm. So we'll move on to some other news. I think you said you had some things to bring up.
Some shameless plugs from my end. So Proxy Table Gaming, we are in the middle of a 3-part series when I've gone over to Nav Hussein's house, the master in UK. I don't know how he's the master. He just takes every charge he possibly can, but it works. But yeah, so I'm playing my high elves there in a 3-part series. So the latest video went out yesterday actually, and was part 2, and that was a high elf civil war. So pretty cool. I must. A spoiler alert for all 3. I had a stag do the day before, so I was doing my best to just stay awake rather than play fantastically. Yeah, but commitment to the cause, eh? And so that's us. We've always got stuff going on as well. So hit us up for comments and stuff. And some of the guys down the club that I'm at, Paul and Tony, host the Fantasy Wargaming podcast. So if you listen to that, their latest one, I think went out about the latest one went out about a month ago, so they're due one very soon. But the last one was I was lucky enough to get on there as well. And we did question of Ninth Age. Which was
I listened to that one actually.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So that was it was just a bit. We were sort of talking at the club, and we were like, "It'd be really cool to do like a quiz on it." So we thought we'd make it into a podcast. Just a bit of fun, and see if you can answer all the questions.
I really enjoyed that one. It was really something different than all of the other podcasts. There's a lot of battle report type podcasts and such out there.
Yeah. That's it. And to be fair, that's most of our channel was just battle reports. So we're same old. Whereas the Fantasy Wargaming podcast, they actually do some cool stuff. So that's a pretty good episode actually. If you want something different and are a fan of Subaka.
Yeah. You tend to have two people in your battle reports talking. I think I watched a few of yours.
Yeah. So another guy, Hyper G, is with me. We try and be quite good on the forums as well. So if you see us on there, feel free to hit us up. But we liked the chat on it, to be honest. Rather than, I don't think I could motivate myself to talk to myself. I think it's me really. I think I just like people listening to me. It was good to. It's quite nice to have like a second pair of eyes on some of our battles, and a lot of the time we're doing it. And if it's my battle, Hyper G genuinely doesn't know how it went, so it's quite good to get like a bit of feedback live.
Yeah, that's. I really like those. I don't watch a lot of battle reports generally, but those that have two people talking, they are so much more enjoyable to listen to, I think.
Yeah, that's it. And I think even if I was doing it on my own, or the same with Hyper G, I think I'd be tempted to just be like, this happened, see you later.
Yeah.
Whereas actually get a bit of chat about why we did it, or
you get some questions. So you have to make sure that you're making yourself clear.
Yeah.
All that to your co-host.
Yeah, that's it.
It's basically the same reason why I started inviting people to my show. It started to feel a bit stale to just sit here talking to myself.
We do that enough, don't we? We don't need
it. I suppose.
I end up talking to my models when I paint. I'm like, why do you do that?
That's great. Wasn't there a rule in early Age of Sigmar, I think?
Yes.
Where you got some extra bonus if you talk to your models.
It was either a drunken empire or a drunken dwarf or something. So if you were mad, then you got an extra plus to your dice roll or something. Yeah.
And I think you got an even bigger bonus if the model talked back.
Yeah. if you pretend that it gave you an answer.
Yeah. So maybe not take it to that length, but sure.
No.
No, but that's good. With having a co-host for.
I say we're quite lucky in that there's a few people around us in like our area, and not that the UK is big area anyway, but like that are doing lots of media stuff as well. So we tend to try and sort of bounce off each other, sort of thing.
I haven't watched that many of your battle reports, but do you also do would you have the opponent on air?
We haven't. Well, unless it's us. So we play a lot with each other. Unless it's us, we haven't yet. But we're getting very close to getting people who are requesting to come on. So we did interviews. So a lot of we've covered one event. So we got asked to do Bristol, which is Art of War, back in February, and we'll be doing that again in February. And we did interviews with a lot of players and the tournament organisers and stuff. So we try and, when we go to tournaments, do lots of extra content which isn't bat reps and is often just fun stuff. And we don't so we get a mixture of like, I guess the top players, so to speak, and the people that are on ETCs, and the big hobbyists. But we tend to really look out for hobbyists because we find them the most interesting. Not the other ones are boring. I'm going to offend so many people, aren't I? But yeah, So we really like having a mix of different people.
But I think it's good. I think the ninth age scene on the internet is very much focused on the game.
Yes,
but there's so much more to it. So I think it's a pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Approach to try and find those hobbyists.
Yeah, we try. We've done last year as well. We did. Sorry, this is just becoming about me. I will shut up.
No, it's fine.
We did a bit about. So when there was lots of updates, but before they started doing the annual stuff, we did our own wooden spoon tournament as well, which was basically we just because the forums are like sometimes they can get a bit depressing and people say, oh, this is we've got the worst army, whatever, and they all say the same thing. So what we threw it out there to actually test. We was like, all right, give us who's got the worst army, and we did about, I think it was 2,000 points or something like that, and we said, right, come up with the worst armies and what we'll do, or worst units in each army, and we did it by votes and stuff, and what we'll do is we'll add some characters to try and make them good and see what we could do, and we had a good fun bit of like a tournament. It was only internally between me and Hyper-G, but and we did loads of back reps on the worst tournament in the world.
All right. I remember seeing some threads about that. I never looked into it much, but sounds interesting.
Yeah, good fun. So we try and throw a bit of as well as going to tournaments and doing battle reports and list talks and stuff. We try and throw a bit of fun in there as well.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay. So I think. Do you have anything else that you want to bring up on the news?
Only, I suppose we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but the Avras campaign, the one I'm painting away for now, is up and running. It's a 3-month campaign, and we've done 2 months. So I don't know when this is going out, but hopefully you'll catch it before the end of it, which is the end of October. So if you listen to this, crack on there, go on the forums and stuff. It's really, really good way of getting people involved in all aspects of the hobby. So if you're top end and into the battle reports, it's there, and if you're just into modeling and creating characters and talking to your models like me, then it's good for that as well. So that's a piece of work that is going on in the Ninth Age, which is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I've participated just a little bit. I think I entered a single model into the painting side of it. So
every bit counts.
I earned a single point for the Empire Zornstall.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
with an orc of all things.
Okay. Yeah, because they're basically what's happened right now in the campaign. So the first 2 months have been about unlocking all the different armies, because it only started off with 3 armies involved in the campaign, and then every so often they do stretch goals. So once so many people paint up this or do battle reports and blah blah blah, they open up the chance for a new army to get involved, and they've got to a point now where it's all about all the armies are involved. It's all about Avras now, and it's all about the battles that are happening around Avras and stuff. So it's really, if you follow, there's a lot to follow, and we'll get into that. But if you can follow it, it's really, really cool, and it's getting to crunch time now, so really cool.
Yeah, all right. I will check that out some closer, and I hope our listeners will too.
Yeah.
So, as you said, we will get into that a bit more later, because it's really related to the community and how to grow it. So, I think we'll use that as a segue to move on to the main segment.
Perfect, as if we planned it.
As if. Growing the community. It's a big topic. And it's an important one because, well, without growth in the community, any game will become stagnant and wither away basically.
For sure.
And there's also a lot of opinions on it because, well, everyone who is part of the community surely has some thoughts on it. But we will look into it from two main aspects. What the project itself is doing to help grow the community and what we think they could do more.
Yep.
And also what the community itself is doing and what they could do more, what everyone could contribute basically.
Absolutely.
And then we'll finish up with some of those Twitter questions.
Yep.
So we'll get right into it. What is the project doing?
Yeah. So looking at growing the community, so the cultists and stuff is good. Do we think all the extra things grow the community? The auxiliary books?
Maybe. I mean, well, for starters, well, the project they're doing the game, and without the game there would be a community, and they're doing these updates to keep it fresh, like the patch update, yearly update.
Yeah.
But then they're also doing these extra things that they are releasing, such as the Cultist book, and I think it helps to some degree. I mean. Maybe not that new people will see it on this forum and download it and think this is cool, now I'm gonna start playing this game.
Yeah.
But it means that people in clubs and in stores are playing.
Yeah, and I think so. And I think it is quite important in order to keep the current community really motivated to keep playing. So I think that is really important part of, because what that'll do is then inspire them to get their mates involved and things. So actually motivating the people to like the game, which I think
that's important. It's not only about attracting new players; it's also about keeping the ones you have.
And I think the Ninth Age especially does a lot of stuff like that indirectly grows the community, because it's like if you're getting the people really on side. Well, I think that anyway. They do. I think they do a really good job of speaking to us as much as they can for a game and stuff. And it's not necessarily. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily them and us, but
no, I tend to agree with that. It is a community-driven game.
Yeah.
Which makes this distinction that we try to make a little bit earlier a bit more complicated, but
sure. But they get involved. They get us to give us new things. They give us lots of news. The news thread is really, really good. I think it's quite a lot of constant updates on that.
For the most part, all of my news items are from swiped directly from the Ninth Age site.
And there's a lot of them, and it's not just it's a lot of miniature companies and stuff, and they do a lot of that. And I guess obviously as well is in growing the community, they run tournaments and they do tournament packs and big tournaments. I know it's the community that does that as well, but they provide the resources for those tournament packs as well.
Yeah, they really made it easier to run tournaments.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So we can look a little bit more into these other things that they are releasing. So they are making auxiliary armies like the Cultists.
Yeah.
They also made some supplements with terrain and scenarios.
Yeah.
And
I think magic as well. There's a new magic one.
Oh yeah, that one was just earlier this month, I think. Yeah. I haven't tried that one yet, but I think it looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm really keen to try it. I haven't tried it out yet. Was it the Flux cards change?
Yeah.
Supplement.
I've long thought that the basic magic system is really good with these cards.
Yeah.
But they are a bit too similar. You don't really care that much about which card you're gonna get.
No, absolutely. There's some that are like slightly less, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you are happy when you get it's a the number 5 card.
Yeah.
Get 9 whale tokens.
Yeah.
And then
or you're playing a demon army and it doesn't matter. You could have about a million whale tokens.
Yeah, you always have full. Or I think if you're playing Cultists, it doesn't matter either because you always have endless amounts of of whale tokens. But I guess they're really related. So, but I think it's the same thing about those supplements. It keeps the ones who are into the game interested and maybe can attract people of a different crowd, not only those hardcore tournament goers.
Absolutely, I think there's a lot of. I know the Ninth Age is mainly based on tournament goers and is about the game being balanced and being competitive and stuff. However, I think they do a lot considering for like the supplement side of things and making it interesting. Like I guess the next thing, whether it leads on quite nicely, is the scroll as well. There's loads of stuff in that isn't purely based on how this Ninth Age is going to be, the best, most tactical. It's really, the model of in chess sort of thing, and there's loads of stuff in that.
Yeah, actually, I think the scroll has a bit too little of that. I think it fails to attract that type of crowd and show them that there are other aspects to it too.
Sure.
I think in the last scroll, there was a nice article by Dan Thomas. About formations and such, and it seemed really helpful. Could provide some really good insight, but I don't think a lot of the people who would be interested in reading that sort of things are reading the scroll because there's not enough of that stuff in it.
Yeah, because they're so used to the supplement side of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's both the thing that they are doing and could do better at the same time.
Yeah. Maybe. So
the scroll I think is quite good.
I especially like it for the fluff part. Yeah. They are releasing quite a lot of new fluff material through the scroll, and that's very much appreciated.
What other things? So, quick starter.
Yep, certainly that should be mentioned.
I think quite a big piece because that is a direct attempt to grow the community by the Ninth Age, isn't it? And I believe
that is the product that maybe people will just stumble onto the site, find that, and this looks interesting.
Yeah,
and they can start it.
Have they started taking that to events? I noticed a thread the other day, which was very close to this question as it is. What are we doing to grow the community? And I couldn't work out when it was started because I started reading it, did about 4 pages, and they'd mentioned about getting it to large miniature events and stuff. So I didn't know whether they'd already started taking it to places like that.
I don't know. There's now we're getting into a bit of ahead of ourselves, but there is this. It's a flowing discussion. There's this Veil of the Ages thing.
Yeah. Peteglio.
Yeah, exactly. But that was not the thing you were talking about.
No, so kind of. He was heavily involved in the quick starter before starting Veil of the Ages. So I guess it's one of the things. But he's done a successful Kickstarter for a.
It's
a Kickstarter for a quick starter, which is I think is like a quick starter to the quick starter. So it's based on a couple of models, introducing some Ninth Age games. I'm quite excited for it to come out actually because he's releasing some new details and stuff. But yeah, that's quite a good thing for the project and for him.
Yeah. Certainly. I followed that Kickstarter a bit. I didn't back it, but it seemed quite interesting.
Yeah. Well, we did quite. We were lucky enough to. We know particularly quite well. We've done a few things with him when he was on the Quickstarter team and when he moved to do the Battle of the Ages stuff. So we were quite lucky in that we're quite close to him, and again, just trying to chat to people. So know a lot about that. But yeah, it was on our channel, and we talked about all the stuff he was doing, and it's really. There's a few other stuff that I can't say, which are really, really, really look cool. I know there's cool stuff coming as well with it. So if you're at all interested, it's starting off as a skirmish game and moving on from there. And if you're at all interested in that stuff, it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I know that one thing that really caught my eye was that he had some 3D model of the Deceiver. Of Kulima.
The winged one with like massive arms.
Yeah, which was based on the artwork from the Demon Legions book.
Yeah,
and I love that piece of art, and that model alone almost made me back the project.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it made me really excited. I've been thinking about maybe sculpting my own version of that model.
Okay, cool.
But again, I have enough armies as it is.
Projects. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to give him an army to back him up, wouldn't you? So.
Yeah, eventually. Really, I'm a bit tempted to just sculpt up one of each of the greater demons because I think they're awesome. But it feels silly if I don't do a whole army for it, and then it's a big project.
Yeah. You could do one of your skirmish ones where they're the team.
Yeah, 7 greater demons coming out.
Against your vermin guard.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think the Quickstarter is a big project. I'm not sure it's finalised yet, though.
No, it's not.
So it's not. I guess it's not ready to be taken to the masses. But I think when it is, I think that's a good thing that they are currently doing and putting a lot of effort into. So
I think though that's one of the weaknesses maybe of the project. It seems that they maybe start a lot of things but don't finish them.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's a habit of all of us, but it becomes extra noticeable when it's the project that's doing it.
I guess that's mainly because there's so many great ideas and people want to.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people involved. There are a lot of really, really good ideas. So it's just life.
Yeah, and it's part of this community-driven approach. People are motivated to do something, and they start it up, and then for some reasons or another, they are unable to finish it, and it's really hard to find people to pick up the pieces, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Especially as there are some like really, really unique ideas.
Yeah.
Like so, I mean, Quickstarter as well. Because what's the normal rule book, like 100 pages or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Pages? And then it's down to 4 pages for the Quickstarter. So like, the ability to do that is quite niche.
Yeah.
So if someone was to leave that team and try and get someone in, it's quite hard to have the same sort of mindset as the people that have already done what they've done.
Yeah, definitely. On the same vein, I think one thing that they really should try and get finished is the updating the main rulebook to legendary status.
Yeah.
It's a real shame that it's still in the. They have a nice book released, but it's the old rules, and it's starting to look old compared to the new legendary books.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know that the Storm Rider games are just waiting for that to be released before they start to have a Kickstarter and try get those out to people.
Yeah, and I guess that's one thing. Are we getting onto could do more bit?
I think it's all over the place by now.
Yeah. If there's
pick up
any
ideas.
structure to this, but I guess that's one of the biggest things is the getting into stores and really trying to tap into that stores and miniature events and things like that, and make, because we like you said, we've really started now to actually have some physical bits of stuff, because one of the big appeals, I think, was it was all digital, all downloaded, I don't all think, but actually that's really good for the people that know about it. But if you don't know about it, there's no reason why you would. So actually having the physical stuff into things is I think they need to back that a little bit more and be a bit quicker about how they do that, because that's always going to help people. Because a lot of people, even the people that go to tournaments and stuff, have started bringing physical books and like the cards as well. Oh, where did I get the cards from? There was a really, I'm not sure they do it now anymore, but I've got a really nice set of cards, and they're basically poker cards with all the flux cards and magic and stuff, and they're so good, and they're so good at showing people and making it a much more visual game other than
I'd say that this game is already quite visual though, but I get your point too.
Yeah, and just being able to give that to someone while you're playing, and the book to someone playing, or if you're playing someone new, to give them a book of everything. That's really cool.
Yeah. There was this Amazon drive a while back, wasn't it, where you could get buy the slim rulebook of Amazon. Is it still available up there?
I think it is, but because I need to get one. Within our group, we've got about 3, and we all sort of use them. But I need my own now. It's getting to work. So I'm hoping. My hope is yes. I believe someone said the last one tournament I went to said that they were going to get one. So I think it still is.
Okay, yeah, I've been thinking about getting one just because it feels neat. I don't think I would use it that much. I've gotten too used to using Control F when finding rules. I don't think I could go back to using hard copies.
Yeah, but good for club nights, I think. Because down at our club, we're maybe 1 or 2 tables a night of 40 tables. So there's so many other games, and like things like the Song of Ice and Fire and all the historical games and things like that, and like a couple of skirmish games, card games, all everything's going on. So for us to have, you get the people that finish their game and go wander and have a look at other systems and stuff.
Yeah.
So for them to come over and obviously not pick up the models necessarily, but actually look at physical copies, I think is huge.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Those things that are available now are good, but I think they need, as you said, they need to update it and get that out there a bit more.
Yeah, I don't think the project is in a place to themselves put it in the store. Okay. I talked a little bit about that on an earlier episode about money and the project. I don't really think that the way it is now that the project can evolve to themselves have that capacity. But I think that projects and companies like Storm Rider are the solution to that.
Sure. So to have like partners that can do it.
Yeah, and maybe they need to deepen their partnership and look at what Storm Rider needs. Yeah. Is essentially just updating this book right now and try and cooperate a bit more.
Yeah, I think so. I think because especially if someone's they're so willing to do it, and as soon as they do it, as soon as they do a Kickstarter, they'll do it in a couple of days, won't they? If we're honest.
Yeah, probably. I would. That is a Kickstarter I would back in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and I think there's not many people that play Ninth Age that do Ninth Age that wouldn't look at backing it unless you're against the Kickstarter stuff specifically.
Yeah, there are some people like that, of course.
Yeah,
and that's understandable. But yeah, it's if you're into this hobby, I think you would want to get a copy of the book.
And so for them to almost just hold up that process is a bit. They've got loads of stuff going on, I know, and they're all.
It's the eternal problem of manpower.
Yeah, for sure.
I suppose that to get it out there, they would have to slow down work on one of the other legendary army books.
Yeah, and I think that the main drive at the minute is over the next few years is going to be the books, isn't it? Is the full army books, and that's what they're putting. I don't know, maybe 70% of their efforts in.
Yeah, certainly. And I think we haven't seen that much result of it yet, but they have this new process of developing books, which should allow them to pump them out a bit faster.
Yeah.
So hopefully we will see some results of that.
Yes, please. What else? Oh, so while we're on to more, can do more. One of the big things for me is, well, there's two parts to this. Fluff is the big one for me. You did a video, the last one, didn't you? Or whenever it's released, which was really good about, and I really liked the Ninth Age did it, which was the 9 Ages and all the stuff that's around that. And there is a lot of fluff out there. That's one thing I'm not debating. The one thing I am debating is how actually time consuming it is to get all of that information that you'd have. For me, there isn't like a single compendium thing that has all of the information in it. Yeah, there's a lot of sources, and there's all the scrolls, as we've said, has incredible fluff and things. But that I think they need to make it easier to actually obtain all the fluff.
Yeah, that's I can definitely agree with that. There is a lot of fluff out there, but for a lot of people, it's difficult to access.
Yeah, I started doing it just out of fun because I was gonna, before we get into the Avras and things, I was gonna do my own campaign and sort of do it. It would have been a lot more intrinsically done and do a campaign where try and get other people involved, but I would have sort of done the majority of it. But I wanted to try and find what events had happened in the past to have a background for it, and it was really I started collecting all the information on the different sources of the scrolls and the background forums and threads and things, and it was really, really fun to do, but it was quite laborious to actually say, right, put it in a timeline and do that thing. So even if they had like a timeline of events, and I know that's almost contradictory to what they're actually doing, because a lot of stuff is meant to be quite ambiguous.
Yeah, especially the older stuff. Yeah, I get the feeling now they are like putting out conflicting theories about what happened to the Saurians after their downfall.
Yeah, which is that's really cool in itself. That's a really cool way of like looking at fluff, because there are so many different armies and sort of groups of people. They're gonna have different views on what happened.
Yep, definitely.
And to a certain extent, that's the same with, I suppose, you try and do it to real life and compare it to that. And there would be a lot of different reasons and theories on what happened and stuff. So I quite like that, actually. That's quite a cool thing. But even if there was, I don't know. I think there's so much good fluff out there, and they're so unique in their different styles of how they do it, and that's really, really good. However, they're just all over the place for me, in where they are. Yeah. So a little bit of a steer on getting them together, but that's a huge job. A
lot of the fluff in the scroll is from the background compendium that they are working on. Yeah, all of these spreads with faction focus are from an upcoming release, and once they release that, I think we'll have a pretty good comprehensive document.
Yeah, that'd be. I'm so looking forward to something like that. If they do that, that'd be really cool. And the other thing I was thinking along those sort of lines is probably the one thing I miss the most from previous games that I won't mention, is special characters. And I don't necessarily mean in that I want to play them and I want them to be all, oh yeah, this has got 2-up saves or anything like that. It's just the idea of having a special character and like someone that, even from my own fluff point of view, I can relate to an overpower. So like an Archaon, for example.
Yeah.
everything about him is awesome, and like all the stories and something you can really pump into, and then I can go, well, my guy used to fight him as a sparring partner, and he's grown and he moved away, and so you can create your own fluff from special characters. So what I'd personally really like to see is actually building up special characters for each faction.
Yeah, sort of like the leaders of the factions,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
I think.
And creating like loads of cool politics stories and stuff that have happened with them.
They do have some characters, of course, in the stories.
Yeah.
Like Siva in the Warriors book.
Yeah.
This the noble lady who turned to Savar. But generally, they are not fighty characters.
No.
I mean, you have the storytellers are generally not that fighty.
No.
They are not the leaders. But overall, the fluff seems a bit more focused on the common folk.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. And I'd quite like. I mean, Avras is probably one of the examples where they have gone into a bit more detail because I've got Fontaine and the Queen and stuff like that. But that sparks that alone sparks loads of different sort of aspects of. So you can do like it. So they're at the head of the tree, the king and queen, or whatever, and then off the back of that you can have those characters that don't fight in any battles whatsoever, but actually are really cool as a background to them and actually lead them and sort of manipulate them and things. So that's what I'd really like, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I would assume that this is something that will happen.
Yeah.
As the fluff develop and more is released, but again, it's a matter of speed. What do they prioritize?
Yeah, again, and that's probably what a lot when we're saying what the project could do more. That's probably the reason, isn't it? Is for a lot of the stuff that we're absolutely. So I guess we'll always come back to that, but just one thing that I don't necessarily think is on the radar is special characters. So I think fluff is on the radar for creating lots of things about the units and things like that, and because a lot of stories, especially the warriors and the things and the demons, the actual full army books have had fluff come out of them. The demons one especially was really, really nice.
I agree.
And the warriors was a lot of storytellers about. So what was the one that I liked most about? It was like the love connection between
the love letters from the fallen.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. It's you didn't expect that.
No, that's it. And so they were really, and there's loads of really nice, unique fluff entries from lots of different people and sort of units in those two full army books. So if they carry on that vein, it's going to be awesome. It's really, really cool. But I think fluff is genuinely on the radar of Ninth Age. However, I don't think necessarily special characters or the leaders, as you said, or generals and things like that, or any. There's a few battles. There's a few main and like legendary characters and things. But there's like the orc, the big orc or whatever.
Akkuibad eller något sånt.
Yeah.
Now I switched to Swedish for some reason.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Pronounce it. Yeah. But yeah, so there are a few, but I don't necessarily think that's necessarily on their radar, and I think that'd be really cool if it was.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how these special characters would be different from the characters that they do have in the fluff.
Yeah.
But I guess more focus on them, perhaps.
But then, that's just. I think that might be even a bit of a legacy thing, isn't it? That I'm so used to, and reading and things. So, because it's not. Whereas before, and in a lot of games that you play, there's a almost factual fluff. So this happened and this has happened. Whereas Ninth Age has gone different. Immediately from the off, in that it's all. This is what happened from this person's point of view.
I think maybe what could be needed there is simply well, more fluff in the way that if characters start to appear in more than one source, then they suddenly get more interesting, I think.
I think so. Absolutely.
We have that with the main narrator in the Undying Dynasties book, von Üblingen. She appears, of course, in that book, but there's also you got a small excerpt of her diary about the vermin swarm.
Okay.
And I think there's a small mention in the main rule book about her expedition and no one having returned from it. So she's a bit more established in the fluff.
Yeah. And you can sort of, even though there'll be different opinions and viewpoints from it, there'll be similar traits that she shows.
And when you can draw the conclusion that she actually is known in the world. She's not just some random person.
That'd be really cool if they just became more of. But then, but as you say, it's just more, isn't it?
Yeah.
More alone would help.
More. But I think that the community has some ability to make this easier too. Are you familiar with the public Wikia or wiki about the fluff?
Yeah, well, I've tried using it. It doesn't. I find it hard to navigate, but yes, I know of.
Yeah. I've written a few articles for that myself.
Okay.
Quite a lot, actually. But it's one of those things that same thing. You need more, basically.
Yeah.
You got some critical mass before it becomes really useful.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that the community could do more of to try and condense what's available.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, it's a question of manpower to find people who are willing to spend time on that.
Yeah. And that'll be, I think, for that theme. More people.
Yep. Basically. So, I think that covers it about fluff. We want more of it.
Yep.
So, have we started covering most of the stuff that we want to mention? We mentioned Veil of the Ages earlier. They are going to Spiel in Essen, I think.
Yeah.
To try and reach out to the community, basically, and show that the game is something. And things like that are, obviously super important.
Yeah, and I think one of the important things they'll start doing is showing, like, not their business plan, because obviously that's their own, but like where the exit routes of their game is, and it's because it's so heavily tied in with the Night Age, and that's the sort of point of it, is that so they've got their game and how it works and how easy it is, and because the breach comes in a box, doesn't it? And you can have cards and a bit of terrain, and it's meant to be there for presents and things like that. So that alone is great, but the big thing about them going out and showing it to different people is how it will then develop in the years to come.
Yeah, I think they're doing some big diorama for it too.
Oh, really? That's cool.
There's I've seen some posts about about building a large coliseum like arena for the games to be played in. So I think that could really help to attract players and get noticed, basically.
For sure. It's that's really cool.
So I think that's an important part generally, to just be out there, make the game shown, and make people notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have anything more on the topic?
From the 9th age, no, I guess just in general is just trying to. I guess marketing is their big one. Is to actually. I mean, they're focusing so much on the game itself at the minute, which is because they have to, because of the army books and everything, getting it up to that legendary, everything up to legendary status and stuff. But I think it will come. It will come. It's just so I think from their point of view, it's just getting. I think a big thing is what we've mentioned is the partnerships. I think they need to be when they come about. I think they need to focus on them quite a lot.
Yeah, I think that's right. This with marketing, I think it's hard for them to do it themselves.
Yes,
because they don't have the budget for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And changing the project to incorporate something like that is a big change.
Yeah.
So I think
it's quite a shift in philosophy as well, isn't it?
Yeah. As I said, I had made an episode where talking a little bit about the money, and the long and short of it is that it's just too big a change for the project to handle it. It wouldn't be the same, and if they were willing to do it, they would have done it already.
Yeah.
So
that's just makes it more important that when people do come along to support, that they really give them as much help as possible.
Yeah, certainly.
But that's about it. I think.
Before we wrap it up, we have some Twitter questions that Lucky Sixes collected.
Yeah, and it was all from today. So this is fresh off the social media threads. I just put out there about what can the players do and what can the community do and what the 9th Age can do to help get things. And we've had quite a good response. One from the 9th Age, which is interesting. So I'll read that.
The 9th Age project itself.
Yeah, so we're getting direct stuff, guys.
I don't follow Twitter at all. So does the project have its own Twitter account?
Yeah. So they've got which is at the 9th Age, as you'd expect.
Yep.
So they're quite good at. I'm very new to Twitter anyway, so I only started in June, I think. So getting out there as well is another thing. That's what you guys can do. But yes, so they've said from the 9th Age point of view, they've said be open and friendly when people ask about the game. Be open and friendly to new players. Do promo games. Share the 9th Scroll with friends. And most importantly, don't feed the 9th Age after midnight. So I mean, what they're getting at is, I guess, is being open friendly not only to people but also to different systems.
Yeah,
which is quite true. Important, I think.
I think 9th Edge has a bit of a reputation of being unfriendly and only tournament focused, and that doesn't make it easier to get new players, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So we need to show that we're better than that.
Yeah, and I think being positive to other systems and sort of being how showing similarities but not necessarily slagging it off can also help us as well, because it sort of gets people motivated to say, oh yeah, our system is good, and what's your system, and asking these questions back.
If you want to encourage people who from other games, you need to show interest in their game as well.
For sure. So that's a good one from them. Thanks to 9th Age. Dan, again, another person you were talking about, Dan Thomas, who I think he does quite a lot.
He's a machine.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not a bad player either. But every bloody army he takes, he does all right. But
he makes it a thing, doesn't he, to take new armies and show that it's possible to do well with it.
That's it. It's annoyingly so. I chatted to him in Stockport when we were there, and He's such a nice lad. He's such a nice lad to chat to, and he's got the time for everyone, which is really nice. But yeah, it's annoying how good he is. Anyway, so he said, yeah, just showing it at your local clubs, because he believes, and I think agree with him, that the game is good and great in his words. So is just saying, show it to other people, show how good the game is. He said that the only threshold, the issue that he sees, is this high skill threshold that it has that reputation for as well. But showing but what he does, I know, and other people try and do as well, is just sharing tacticas, and as you said, like he makes a point of going through different armies, but actually he writes a lot of threads and stuff. So if you go on the forums and things and show people to the forums and the downloads and stuff like that, I think that's one of the.
That's one thing we didn't mention at all. The new web page.
Yeah, of course.
The Night Age put out. That's actually something that I think can really help.
Yeah, and it So the three sections are what? Forum, rules, and downloads, or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and factions, where you can read up a little bit.
Oh yeah, of course. So
all the factions.
So so it does show that they've got a bit of fluff on their sort of priorities as well. So
yeah, certainly.
So that's thanks to those guys. But yeah, so some of the questions I had were whether or not. Let me see if I can bring these up. So these aren't questions again. They're more sort of like pointers to people. So what you're doing and what we're trying to do and other people is, feel free to get involved on the social media hype, on the YouTubes and stuff like that. And even if you're not able to do it yourself, commenting on other people's and doing that and building up the channels and the podcasts and things like that, and sharing them with other people, because social media is such a big part of the modern world now. Is that actually, if you can get that out to people and get it out in the internet and that sort of web world, then actually that will help bring in the new players, because a lot of people just watch YouTube, don't watch TV. So if it can come up on that, then that always helps out.
I think it would be hard to get the Night Age onto actual TV. It's easier to go with YouTube at least.
Yeah, for sure. That's a few years away. That one. But yeah.
But I can definitely agree with that. I'm just starting this channel out. It's not that old, and when you get a comment or some discussion on the videos, that's really motivating.
Absolutely. That's the best bit for us, is when you're getting comments of not just the that's good or that's bad or anything like that. It's actually like just people. You put questions in your videos and they comment on it, and you're just like, oh, that's really cool. We have a conversation with, and people clarify things and put jokes on there and stuff, and it's really it's its own sort of mini community stuff. And that's our best bit for sure. We love it when people comment on our stuff.
Certainly.
And yeah, so some of the guys from our club, which is really our club is a really interesting thing to show actually on that sort of front, is that I've been going for a year and a bit, and at that point we were joining a group of 4. So it's me and Hyper G on that, and that was 6. Our group is now up to 12, and that's just through just sharing on Facebook and going on the Facebook groups and getting people that we know and friends and introducing it to people. And again, it's such a wide range. There's Raf's part of our group who's moved to the area, and he's ETC England. And then you've got people that have not played fantasy war games in any regard for 5 or 6 years and that are interested in it, and the seeks Paul out and all the Tony that have started coming to the club, and so we're starting almost afresh. So that's really cool. So just being a guest, having someone there to play with and getting your mates involved and chip away at different people, and it will, through time, come together. So I think from the community based and stuff is just sharing it. That's the biggest thing we can do is just to share it with people.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I thought I had a question, but all this seems to be tips at me, telling me what to do. So that's good. So yeah, I think I guess leave it at that because that's the main stuff people are talking to me about. The other thing is, there's one thing we talked about quite a bit on our channel in the early days is just getting, because there'll be people that listen to this and people that listen to all the other YouTubes and stuff and podcasts that don't go to tournaments. That's a big part, and that's absolutely fine. I would suggest though, if you can get to one just for a bit of fun and just try out I think it seriously inspired me and motivated me and our little group tenfold for the hobby, because it really gives yourself a community. So
Yeah.
I would encourage just getting out there yourself.
Yeah.
That's a bit sloppy, isn't it?
Oh. I agree.
But yeah, our community it's quite small, but it's so friendly and so accepting. And even myself, probably 2 years ago, was in the garage playing with one or two people, and it was really fun. And we had our own different things, but actually just getting out there and having fun with 20 different people and sharing stories and that thing, it really helps to create your motivation and get new people in and stuff. So
yeah.
that's just there are night pages out there. Go seek them out.
Yeah, certainly. I can only agree about go to tournaments. It's when I started doing it, that was a long time ago, but it was a real motivation, and today it's painting up for tournaments is one of the quickest way for me to get an army done.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm generally quite slow painter, but usually finish a few models for each tournament. It's a nice motivation.
And I say it's just the events themselves. You sort of go there. Obviously, the main driver is to go there, play people, share your models, share the collections and things, and that's the thing. But actually, just the event as a whole is such a good experience, and we've met so many awesome people through going to tournaments and just getting out there. And obviously, we're just there as participants to start off with, and through the channel we've gone to actually cover tournaments and stuff. But for us, like meeting the Bristol lot and it's silly, but just for going to tournaments and meeting people and chatting to people who you think are random, actually we've played like the UK Master, which is really cool. That's a really cool thing to sort of say and do. So obviously have that in all the countries and things, and so wherever you are, just I can't encourage it enough to go to a tournament and to experience that, because you don't have to be winning the tournament to have fun.
No, definitely not.
I've
been going to tournaments for a very long time, and I haven't won any games.
No, exactly.
I haven't won games, but I haven't won any tournaments. But it's a great experience.
Yeah.
Just chatting to people and all of that. Certainly.
Yeah. Sorry, I've diversed majorly against Twitter, but yeah, that's in a nutshell.
All right. That was it. No, you didn't have any other Twitter comments?
Not that I can share.
Now I'm curious. Maybe I should go to Twitter. All right, but then we'll call it at that. How is your painting going?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm a bit of a how do I call it? Conveyor belt sort of.
Yeah.
So I'm on gold now.
Yeah.
So just all the gold bits. I've got 5 models. I've done all the gold bit. I've done all the black. So we'll get onto it, and then I'm not. I must admit, I'm a tabletop standard rather than a very good painter. I get shamed by a lot of people.
All painting is good.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm getting better. I used to have quite a lot of so my painting is better, but I think I don't take enough time with them. I don't think. So I need to get a bit better on that. But yeah, so sorry, gold.
Yeah. Well, I'm progressing on my Marshal a bit. The steel is about done, as I hinted.
And he had a lot of steel. So
yeah, it's only steel. So when this is finished, it's not that much to go, but I still have some touch-ups to do. But I've done the basics of it. I'm doing this kind of I think it's called true metal painting. So you know what non-metallic metal is?
No, because I'm not a very good painter.
where you paint metal areas without using metal paints.
Oh, okay.
So you try to create reflections and all of that by hand.
Yeah.
And true metal is basically the same thing, but you do it with metal paints. Okay. So you try and add those reflections and spots by hand to it. I'm not that good at it yet, but this model is really a great opportunity to experiment with it.
Yeah. I've seen some of your stuff, so you used me at saying you're not a good painter, is it?
I said I'm not very good at the true metal.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah.
So, but yeah, he's getting there.
Sweet.
You can send me some pictures of your models,
absolutely.
and I can post them up when I finish the video, and I will include some pictures of my own little Marshal. And I think we'll call it there.
Sweet.
So thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our little chat. It felt like it was a lot more rambling than usual.
Yeah, well, that's my fault. Sorry.
No. That's the purpose of the show. It's supposed to be ramblings.
Yeah.
And fighting the war against the grey.
Yeah.
So I hope we accomplished that. And I hope you will join us on the next one. Cheers.
See you later.